from right now, but so I like to hop on my phone as well so I can see it from there. Oh, hi everybody. Mark and I are just kind of sitting here hanging out, talking, and figured maybe it'd be fun to go live and talk to you guys. How
What's
y'all
up,
doing?
people?
Can anybody even see this yet? I don't know. I know it's live on.
Let's
I
see.
think it says it's live on
Live
YouTube.
on my
So,
face. Yeah, it's definitely live on Facebook
oh,
right
here it
now.
is. All right. Yep, found
Oh,
it.
hi,
Uh
everybody.
oh. Uh oh. There we go. Fix that sound. Looks like I can hear myself tonight, so that's good. I may have actually gotten my sound levels fixed, and
What's up, Julian?
you and I have been
Yo,
chatting for over 10 minutes,
what's
so I
up,
don't think you're going
kid?
to get cut off.
Yo,
What's going on? How's everybody doing Friday night?
Friday night, having a adult beverage, relaxing, chilling.
I'm still
Got
drinking
some.
bubbly.
I respect that. That's good
Yeah.
stuff over there.
Every once in a while, I get the adult beverages out, like once every couple of weeks, but nah, I save it for a blue moon.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Man, how are you guys doing?
Kind of quiet around here tonight. How is everybody? Herman's the only one
People
saying
logging
anything.
in. It's after 12 a.m. People just chilling. Long week. Need a drink. Need that good drink going.
Need
People know what's up.
working on their deck techs, hopefully.
Working on their deck tax, exactly. Until Shiana's competitive, I will never be a happy man in the meta.
Oh man, that's it might be a minute. I think they need to work on getting more generic equipment out there, or just maybe it just needs to be somebody needs to figure out how to do it with what's there already. It's possible, right?
Well, here's the bottom line. With any single thing in the world, with any card game, the more options you put out there, the more new cards you put out there, the more viable cards you just never knew would be viable end up being. And that's just something going back to old school Magic that you've seen. We
Mm-hmm.
know Blitz is going to be taking like a few steps up here. I think this is really Heart of Fiondel's chance to shine. People talk so much about life gain being such an important, you know, such an important part of this game, where life gain, for example, in Magic, is practically meaningless. You have life link. Sure, you could survive a rush deck early, but as a generalization at the highest competitive level, people aren't really using life gain or life link and things like
Yeah,
Magic.
that's fair.
But in this game, you're constantly getting attacked, and there's constant aggression coming your way. So being able to interact with that and heal yourself is a very important thing. So it'll be very interesting to see how certain cards literally become a lot more important as a result. And I think people already know some of the cards, or are predicting at this point some of the cards that might become, more powerful, like the what's that card that you give copper to draw cards for? Copper, two silver, one gold. Um,
Oh gosh. Um,
One of those cards. You know what I'm
oh,
talking about,
yeah, I know
though.
exactly the card you're talking about. I was looking at it
So,
yesterday because of the gold
but
thing.
there is no silver or gold at the moment, right?
Right. I'm really
Right.
curious about what that's going to be. And
I mean, maybe we'll get some silver with you know, the demons and the undead, even though silver is meant more for like vampires and werewolves. So it'll be interesting to see if silver comes out in this set and gold comes out in the next set. It's a really interesting dynamic in the card game as well, how they print a first edition and then they come out with the unlimited right afterwards.
yeah,
So it'll be very interesting to see how it unfolds.
I like that part. I'm kind of glad that they've moved things up there. I wish that they would get unlimited out same day, or maybe even before. Take the pressure off of those first edition boxes. Maybe there's players that don't care what they play with. There's definitely collectors that only want first edition. So
Oh man,
put that
I
put unlimited out first and make it Make it a huge print run.
I agree. And you know what I almost feel like they should do? They should have something where you buy a certain amount of unlimited to get the first edition. Because I have to bring you back to a really weird feeling I had. And this really weird feeling happened when it was about recently when I opened up some Aquaria for Magic the Gathering. And this thing has been printed into oblivion. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I tear open that plastic, I just feel like no matter what comes out, I'm going to lose money. And, even though the unlimited cards do have some value, as they get printed over time, the saturation of them will obviously increase. Granted, as time goes forward and they stop printing it, obviously it will retain value. But doing so many box wars with you with so many of the Crucible cases, it almost
Mm-hmm.
feels like when you crack open a Crucible box, it's like I have no idea if this box is going to be worth, three quarters, one and a half, two, three times, maybe even four, depending on what I pull out, times cracking it open. It's actually exciting. And
Yep.
of course, applying other exciting techniques like the doggy style sleeving method, where you like literally pull it slowly and you turn it around and then you show it. It literally creates suspense. You're literally excited for the potential expected value of that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're literally excited for the expected value of everything.
Yeah.
And
It.
and that's fun. Like that there's thrill in opening up a Crucible of Warbox, but any Magic product now there's no thrill. My concern with the unlimited, fine, you're a player, you just want to play a game. I don't give a shit about the value. I don't care. Fine, that's you. Somebody like me, I do care about the value. I do want to know the money that I put in isn't just burning up. Yes, all right. During these COVID times, I don't have anyone to play with. I have no time. So for me, it's more about appreciating the artwork, appreciating the community, giving back to the community, giving to these charities, trying to prop up everything around me to just try to be as supportive as possible to everyone who's part of this wonderful, beautiful community. But for me, like I'll tell you, I would never see myself. I know I did some WTR Unlimited Box Wars, and like I like supporting the community and giving them something exciting to watch. But for me personally, I would never see myself going out and buying an unlimited box. But the irony behind it is you know if Flesh and Blood came out and said we're not reprinting Welcome to Wrath anymore, unlimited, all of a sudden I might become interested in it, because it's all of a sudden, oh really? So you mean whatever is out is out? And
Right.
and you get that feeling with first edition, like whatever is out is out.
Well.
So
Just
I'm
this.
pretty excited about like
I.
first edition, but not at all about unlimited personally for myself.
I feel you there, and I have an opinion around like prices on unlimited. I don't ever want to see ever is a strong word. In while it is in print, I do not want to see a Heart of Fyendal above $500. While it's in print, I don't want to see an Eye of Ophidia above $500. I don't want to see unlimited cards that aren't available to players. That doesn't make any sense. If they're cards that are good for decks and they're not available, then that sucks. And we got to figure out as a community some way to do something about that if possible. Um,
I think it's addressed really well. I think what they did with the unlimited is addressed really well. I hear what you're saying when it comes to a Fable card that's 1 in 40 boxes, where it's like, well, what if a player doesn't want to drop $500? At the same time, you have to just stop and think to yourself, well, how much when you were, I don't know if you've ever played Standard in Magic
oh yeah.
during any given time. All right, so
Hmm.
we played some Standard Magic. So when you like the last time I guess the first time I played Standard Magic was when Alpha Beta Unlimited Revised was out because that's the first time I played in, it was just sort of that world. But when I got back into Standard again, it was Onslaught, Legions, and I competed at a Grand Prix. I'll tell you, in order to like get my deck together and put it together, I had to drop a solid like 1,500, 2 grand
Oh
just
wow.
to be able to put the my deck together with all the cards, and
And that's
it
in
was
standard.
heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because after standard rotated out,
Yeah.
I looked at the value of my cards. I'm like, oh my god, I'm holding like a dumpster fire over here. Like,
Yep.
why the f did I drop all this money and all these cards just to watch it go up in flames? And I, I don't like that feeling, and I feel when you buy first edition, it sort of prevents that.
I definitely agree with you there. You're not going to get that sort of overprinted dumpster fire aspect with a first edition ever. I think, especially in Flesh and Blood. Um, I kind of hope that we can get back to that for a little while with Unlimited, though. I kind of want there to be a point here in the next month or two where you can hop on Magnolia's website and pick up boxes again for $80 a piece. That would be
Um,
so amazing.
well, I think you are going to get that. Wait, are you talking about first edition or unlimited?
Unlimited, unlimited.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like with unlimited, I think you are going to get that in terms of growing the game and sharing it with the player bases. You're 100% right that unlimited will definitely spread that as well. But I mean, the bottom line is there has never been a successful. You can't name one long-term successful trading card game that didn't have to take into account the collectors and the value of the older cards. Otherwise, it just will never work. It'll work for a while, you'll like it, you'll see it hot, but that thing will fizzle so quickly. So, what they're doing with the first edition definitely caters to that sort of crowd. And at the same time, you can't only cater to that crowd, you have to get the word out there, and that's unlimited. So, I really like the strategy that they're doing overall by
Mm-hmm.
trying to get the game out and whatnot. And when do you think you're going to see $100,000 Flesh and Blood tournament or a $200,000 Flesh and Blood tournament? And like those are the questions because those are going to be the ultimate benchmarks to know the true value of your cards. If your cards are going to continue moving up, like myself and a lot of people are projecting, you're going to really need to see those tournaments. So for example, like I played a couple games recently of Dota 2, one of the most highly competitive online games. I would say the number one competitive game in the world. Now you might say, well, why is that the number one competitive game in the world? Because they have the largest grand prize for winning a tournament over any other game on the planet.
Hmm.
So when it comes down to it, what is the number one tournament money prize that you could win in a card game? And it's Magic the Gathering. So it's really going to come down to tournament prizes because people are going to want to watch. Wait till you start seeing top players in the world being filmed on Twitch or some Flesh and Blood or on Flesh and Blood's main website, fabtcg.com. You start seeing the top players in the world make their moves and they're showing you what's in their hand on the sideline. Once you get to that level, I mean, all your cards are going to what? Triple, quadruple in value at that point. But you need to get to that level. Otherwise, it will remain stagnant. It'll just remain, a bunch of people in a very contained, limited community trading back and forth. So I
Yeah.
definitely think
I think
the
that's
strategy
why.
is spot on. Yeah.
Partly, I think that's why it took off so well in New Zealand to begin with. Was that the tournament support was there at first, like right out the gate. I think the first tournaments. I thought I heard about a $10,000 prize support. It might not have been the grand prize, but at least there was 10K in the tournament, and that's like it's not 100,000, right? 100,000's that's a big number, right? Add a zero.
Well,
Um,
here's the funny thing about you mentioning it. So the first Magic tournament I've ever been to was in New York Magic, and it was I think at the Marriott Hotel. And what was it? When did Ice Age come out? What was it? 94, 96,
94, 95
95,
ish.
96? When Ice Age debuted, they had the main Magic tournament, and if you won the main Magic tournament, the prize wasn't money; it was an unlimited P9 set.
Ooh,
Now, at the time, and
that wasn't
listen here, man,
quite what it is now, but
at, at the time, the Black Lotus was selling for around 160 to $200, closer to 200 if you had it in near mint. Moxes were $100, were half the price of a Lotus. So you see like how that discrepancy widened over time.
hmm.
And like I remember being at that New York Magic tournament as a kid, and all I would do was trade. I was just like, yeah, I was like a mother effing hustler since day one. I would go into that tournament. I would have my cards, my binder. I'd be like, yo, you want to trade? At the end of the day, I kid you not, my legs were sore. I couldn't move. I was sweating, but I made like $150. And I'm like, well, I forgot the year. It was 14, 15, or 16. I competed in the tournament, and one day maybe not tonight, but I'll share a very special story about how the card Chaos Confetti came about, by the way, from Unglued. You ever hear of Chaos Confetti?
No.
So back in the day, what you could do is when you played a Chaos Orb and it activated
Oh,
its ability,
I've yes. Whichever cards it touches.
and throw them up in the air, and it
Hmm.
would just snow all down. So people would come to these tournaments, these fucking assholes with like 20 Chaos Orbs and shit, because they were planning on beating their opponent with one card. So
Hmm.
you had these assholes running like most of the decks. The most common power deck was 5 color, and they would just run like the best cards from every color. Like, oh, white I have balance and disenchants. Green I have some regrowths and I forgot what they were playing. Green from there. Blue, Ancestral Time Walk, Time Twister, some counter spells. Red, some Lightning Bolt, some maybe
Just
Sedge Troll or
a
some
mess of a
Wheel of
deck from the
Fortune.
sound of it.
Black, some Jusums, Hypnotic Specters, and Demonic Tutors. So people would literally try to do this. If they got like a real solid hand and all power nine, they would play like Lotus, Mox, this, put it out, Demonic Tutor, Chaos Orb, put Chaos Orb into play Chaos Orb, rip up their Chaos Orb, make it snow all upon you, and you're done because you just lost your whole field. And like that was like a thing back then. And I remember looking at these people like, and I remember being like just a kid at the time thinking like these cards are so limited they have to be worth money, and that's what really pours into the flesh and blood aspect. That's where it's attached, where you have such a limited printing of the first edition
Right.
stuff, and
Can
I
you
just hope
imagine
it gets.
someone taking a cold foil majestic and just like and throwing it up in the air and
I
oh,
feel it's like one of those things like for a guy, like when you watch another guy get like kicked in the nads like with full strength, and it almost hurts you in a bit. You're like, ooh, because you can just imagine what that feels like. That's the type of reaction I would have if you ripped up a cold foil. I would
yeah.
literally be disgusted. I would look at you, I'd be like, yo, like it would literally cause me like pain. I'd be like, yo, bro, do you have like a couple Advil after that? That would be so painful to watch
Like
somebody rip up a cold foil like that. I would like be thinking about it even at night, like when I'm sleeping. I'd be
like
sitting there and I'd be saying,
why? Why did he do
why did he do that shit? He's crazy. Yeah, he won the game, but he lost that life. And
right? Yeah.
crazy stuff.
And yet back in the day that was the chaos orb, that was the way to go, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yo, shout out Cliff and Prashant watching right now. Two Newsbeat brothers. Love you guys. Herman, love you guys. How you guys doing? Just shouting out.
What's
Got
going
my
on,
mic.
fellas?
Really excited about this.
The tournament on Sunday?
Really excited about it. The whole point is, the mentality is low. There are people in this community who, I almost feel like when you have an unsealed thing, and maybe it's not even coming from a point of, you know, cockiness, but I almost feel like we form such a powerful cornerstone of any dynamic of a game we follow. Like, obviously from the Magic Unseals part, now from the Fab Unseals. I feel from Flesh and Blood, considering how new of a game it is and what we've created, everybody who's really puts their heart and soul into this community. We have such a beautiful community. We do good for the world. you guys need to know, if you're watching this right now, just being part of this community, that you are making the world a better place. I don't know if you guys know this, but what I do is I asked you how many people were in the Flesh and Blood community earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think you said, what was it, 785 or
785, I think. Yeah.
785? What I do is I actually give a certain amount of charity per person inside the Flesh and Blood community. I do the
Oh
same thing
wow.
in my trading room. The reason for that is not everybody is in an opportunity to give money to a charity. But if you ask 99% of people, if you had all this money, would you give some of this money to charity? Would you try to make the world a better place? Almost everyone says yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I like to do is, for people who are in the community, to give at least, X amount of dollars, whether it's a dollar or two or three, just based on every single person, and I literally donate that money in their name. So when I donate money, I actually do it on behalf of a community. If you notice, I'll never donate money personally in my name, because it's not me, it's us. And what that does is,
Grow something
it
bigger
gives,
than you, right?
it's much bigger than me. Look, I'm gonna live, I'm gonna die just like everybody else on the planet. What am I gonna leave behind? What am I gonna leave behind? Sure, I could take the I could take the tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars I poured into this community, and I could say, you know what? I could just go ahead and, buy 100 cases, or 100 boxes, or two, three, 400 boxes of Monarch, or whatever the number is. Just stupid, napkin math over here. And I could do that, and I can have all this product for myself, and I could look at it like that. Or I could say, you know what? Our time, our moment here, being part of a community, nothing lasts forever. Nothing. As much as we like to say, oh, it'll last forever, I'll love you forever. Like, no, you won't. Like, nothing lasts forever. But I would like to know that my time here, for however long this flesh and blood unseals last, that we made the world a better place. That we made the world a better place. That there's somebody out there, like I'll tell you, for example, what's the name of that food, the your charity that I donated to is
Oh, Upper Valley Bend.
Upper Valley Bank. They literally had a staff vote to see who's going to be on their board, and I literally reached out to them, and I said, you know what, you know, I just basically said, I don't know any of these people, but you know what? I want the person who wants to make this charity work, who wants to change the lives of the most number of people, and will fight diligently to do that. I want that person to be in. And I literally shared my voice there, because they sent me an email talking about a vote for a board. I don't know if you got that email too, but
I don't know. I don't think I did.
all right, so right over here, it's Upper Valley. I got it right in front of me.
Check.
It's I could actually share it. I can actually share it. Just one second. My screen will go black just for a second. Just one moment. I'll share it. So right over here, and they literally had a membership vote for new board members, and I literally went here, and I went here, and it said click here to vote, and I went here, and I voted, and I basically I find that so, I'm so happy that your charity did that, because I've donated to maybe 50, 100 charities in the past year, but I've never seen a charity that literally votes for its board members, to actually say the people who donated, who are giving money, to have a voice to say in something that might happen for the good. I know that sounds maybe a little weird, but when you try to make a difference in the world, you want the person who's going to be giving their heart first towards that cause.
To actually have a voice.
Uh-huh.
It makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. It's about skin in the game, right? It's about actually having involvement in the things that you're
That's why I
doing.
donate on everyone's behalf, because everybody has skin in the game. Everybody has involvement. That's a part of the charity wars. Like, I could take those cases, for example. I'll give you an example. I could take those cases. I could sell them. I sent you. Oh, probably searching for them now. You know, I could you know, I could sell the R case that I sent you. I could sell the crew case that I sent you. I could sell that extra crew box that I sent you. I could sell the Shiana right there that I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
I could sell all these things, take that money myself. That Shiana, my, I love her. I do. Take that myself and just literally sell it. Take all that money that I made and give that to the charity myself. But then none of you were part of that. None of you were part of the process to make the world a better place. It was just me. It was just
Mm-hmm.
me who was part of the process. So what I gave a lot of people here, and a lot of people reached out to me too, like, Mark, I don't really donate to these things. This is great. Thank you so much. I literally am trying to show the people of this community the good feeling of actually giving and how it feels to give. And you don't have to look. I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in a very, very bad neighborhood. Gunshots, knives, drugs, like shit. I mean, one of you in chat, Herman knows what I'm talking about. But like, I grew up in like a pretty bad neighborhood. You know, a neighborhood I wouldn't want my kids growing up in today, in all honesty. And I grew up, on food stamps, and I remember going to wall bombs with the little food stamps booklet, and it looked like Monopoly money, and I remember giving them a little ticket to get like groceries. It was crazy. So I grew up from very humble origins,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand what it's like for a group of people to step up as a collective whole and sort of give in one direction towards a charity. I'm telling you, this Flesh and Blood on Seals is literally making the world a better place, whether you realize it or not.
I do
Cheers to
realize
all
it,
of you.
and I love it. I absolutely love it. And we've had a lot of fun doing what we're doing, and I mean, we're just going to keep on having fun around here. And I mean, Sunday is a great example, right? Like, we've got so
Can't
much
wait.
stuff going on for Sunday. Like, I was thinking about
So,
it. That might be like a 4 hour event, man. Like,
look. So we're doing. So all right. So here's does the community know what's happening with Laura?
I think I've talked about it a couple of times.
All
Yeah.
right. Is it okay if I bring it up?
Oh
All right.
yeah, no,
So
sure, go for it.
so there's a crew box that Chris has that I sent him, and his wife. That's the crew box. His wife and him are going to be going head to head. Now, as much as I would love to root for Chris, here's the thing. I want Chris to have a warm bed at night. I don't want him to sleep in the garage. I know there is a lot of snow and it is freezing outside. He better let his girl win, or else I am rooting against you, Chris, in that battle. I never root against you, but this time I'm rooting against you in this battle.
That's
He's going to
fair.
be battling his wife.
That's fair.
Um,
I'll be
this
I'll be
is
rooting against myself as well. So.
Yeah, that's we're both rooting on the same team. So we're doing an art case. You guys get to
Yep.
try to murk me. Um, if
There it
uh,
is.
yeah, so that's just amazing. Not only that, so 4 people get chosen from the charities to fight me on that art case. Here's the next thing: another 4 people instantly get a 6 roll. I'd love to explain where I'm going with this. I think this will be the role if Chris, changes his mind. I respect that as well. Or if we have a different thought, him and I, which how to do it. This is how it's going to go. So when Chris runs a box war, the number 6 or one of the numbers, I think number 6 is going to be special. And if you roll a 6, you're going to get a chance to roll a 20-sided die. Now, 1 to 5 is going to get you a certain amount of crew packs. 6 to 10 will get you some other ones. Uh,
There it is.
11 to 15 will get you some other ones, and 16 to 20 you'll win like 10 crew packs. You know, on the spice rack. So what we're doing is we're making the spice rack a lot more spicier. We're bringing like Mexican restaurant habanero style spice to the table.
It's gonna burn.
Um,
It's gonna be pretty fun every time we get in there.
you gotta get a burn. Look, look,
Mm-hmm.
look. If you're not like blowing out fireballs like Dalsum from Street Fighter 2, something went wrong here. You
Yeah.
gotta. This is no Wonder Bread stuff. This is no salt and pepper shake. I mean, we're talking like mouth on fire, like
And
Like you can't taste anything. Like that's the type of spice I want. So there's going to be four other people who get automatically put in for that. So 8 people win. 4 people get to fight for the art case. 4 people just get straight up free packs of Crucible of War. Just free packs of Crucible of War. Like all you get to do is roll a 20-sided dice. Now there's something special for this event. If you roll a 20, you get 10 packs of Crucible of War, and you get another roll to win the Shiana. You get to win the Shiana. Is there a low chance of winning the Shiana? You're damn effing right it is. But at the end of the day, that's what that girl is worth to me. And if I put a lower price on her, her mama would slap me in the face. Like I need to uphold that value.
It
You're
wouldn't be
getting
right
free
to
crew
devalue her.
right? You
Yeah.
get free crew packs. You get a chance at Shiana. You get a chance at an art case. I mean, first of all, I might do another video talking about future predictive pricings on this and pricing models. A lot of people have been asking me, what do you think? What do you think? I always get people asking me after you know, about what do I think of the future
Hmm.
of Flesh and Blood, and I'm pretty effing bullish. And I do want to talk about price targets and yeah, you wish she was yours, Herman. Yo, you wish, and don't be disrespecting the lady like that. You show respect when you see that lady. Show respect when you see Shiana. But 4 people get the art case. 4 people get to roll for a shitload of packs and Shiana, and Chris Sayers fights Laura Sayers in a box war. Not only that, there's a small consolation prize after Chris loses. We're going to give him a Zen State foil. We're going to give him a
Ah.
Zen State foil. That's for him. Very small price. It's not about 20, 25, 30, 35 bucks, whatever it's worth. I haven't
It's
checked it recently, but
my
yeah,
consolation
there.
prize right there.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little consolation. I'm already predicting his loss, and I don't want Chris to feel bad because he is spending his valuable time and effort to make this community the wonderful place that it is. So we are going to give him a Zen State. So we're jacking up the spice rack. This, by the way, we're not going through 96 packs of Crucible for this charity event. We're not going through 96 packs of Crucible for the charity event. Those packs don't come back to me. Those packs stay in the spice rack. So
Hmm.
make sure you get involved in the box wars. Make sure it's excited. And guess what? When you when you go if you go to the spice rack and the box wars, you get a chance to win some Crucible packs, which
It's
have been exploding in value. So
it's gonna be a very very spicy time for the spice rack.
I think they're worth about like 20, like $3,000, about up or down a
Thereabouts.
little.
Yeah.
Like right now the case. By the time like after Sunday and after these next box wars that you're throwing, I'm pretty sure like even if you run like unlimited stuff, there's a chance that the spice rack will hand over fist destroy whomever you've lost the box war to. So it's almost going to be like two winners. It's going to be a potentially beautiful thing.
Yeah, I'm seriously looking forward to it. It's kind of like every time somebody hits a two now, it's like, oh, hey, you might have just lost, but well, you're going home with a cold foil, so that's not really losing, is it? Like,
Yeah. I
yeah.
wish I lost because the loser's the winner. It's like I lost. Oh, what you get more than the winner? Second place prize is more than the first place prize. And let's see what we have today. Tonight's Mark Melnick has been sponsored by Saint Teresa. Saint Teresa rum from Venezuela, 1796.
Nice,
Drink responsibly.
nice. So yeah, looking forward to that the charity break on Sunday.
Me
You got a
too.
little bit more time if you want to donate. Um, just a little bit more time, and that's we had a bit of a snow delay there, all this weather. But
Yeah, I sent it to you I think it was like a week before or something. I probably should have sent it earlier in prediction of the snow. I didn't think about it. But you know what? It ended up for the best because it gave more people a chance to donate and do a good cause. I definitely want to hit up Upper Valley Mend again. Um, Again, they take care of women, children, housing, food. It's such a beautiful organization.
They do just a
Thank you
ton in the
so much
community.
for sharing that with us here and giving us an opportunity to help them. It's really honorable, and it would be kind of awesome too if you wanted to do sort of like maybe a three-way interview with the people there at Upper Valley Mend, and maybe just let almost like the community see the type of difference they're making, because when you donate the money, a lot of times you don't understand what's happening on the other end. You know you're doing something good, but after that money leaves your hand, it's almost like it's gone. You don't even understand, but maybe you could see firsthand like what your donation actually has done. Would
Hmm.
be a very positive and powerful motivating factor
It's a
for other
great.
people.
That's a great idea. I wonder if we can get Pamela maybe to come on here with us and
Just tell her, yeah, just how
say,
you want
hey,
to do a Zoom
do
call.
do a little Zoom call.
If
Yeah.
if she agrees to it, I'll knock up Upper Valley Bend again. I'll slam the shit again. I'll slam it. We have the Newsbeat live room. Some of the people are watching over here. I'll slam it within my community. We've raised.
I
I could probably, the Flesh and Blood Unseals group. I could probably do more damage to that than the Flesh and Blood Unseals group as of this moment, but maybe in the future the Flesh and Blood Seals will grow. I could really, I could destroy this charity between the Newsbeat live members and myself. It could just be amazing.
if we do that, we're gonna have to make sure that the board members know what to do with the influx of cash because
Like, why is Pamela driving a Ferrari? She was driving a Honda Civic the day before. No, 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 bro. She invested in Welcome to Wrath Alpha. Oh
yeah, no. What would
my god.
probably happen is that one more person around here would, make sure that they had the lights turned on, and they have their heat available for them, and they're getting food, and I mean the food bank they've got going on, like it's just awesome. They're going out gleaning in the fields after farmers get done harvesting crops. They
Are they
follow them
doing what's
around and
called the
glean.
ugly fruit and ugly vegetables, the
Yeah,
ones that
yeah,
don't look good and that's good? I was trying
exactly.
to gather that together myself here in New Jersey, because most of what people don't know is most of the fruit and vegetables that are grown are considered ugly. They're not visually appealing. The apples are a little dented, the cucumbers aren't
Yep.
completely phallic looking. Whatever it is, they look unappealing to the eye when they're on the grocery shelf, so they never get to the grocery shelf. If you notice, like they all look the same, they all look appealing. You just say, I'll just pick almost any one. You'll look, okay, yeah, this one's fine, and you'll throw it in. When you go to these farms, and there's a lot of them, I'm sure, near you, and a lot of them here in New Jersey, they grow what's called ugly fruit and vegetables. They're nutritionally identical. There's nothing different than them. And what they do is a lot of them get either turned into fertilizer or sold extremely for pennies on the dollar. But that's food that could feed families. And, God bless Upper Valley men for taking advantage of that.
Yep.
That.
It's awesome what they do. Like every time I look at what they do, I'm just blown away. And I mean, they share an example here and there in the local community, and yeah, it's awesome. And yeah, thanks again for being open to supporting a local charity like that, that you'd never heard of before. And then I mean, on this next event, we completely kind of switched gears and went for a bigger name that a lot of folks may have heard of before, and tackling a disease that hopefully folks have heard of by now.
Yeah, I mean, my brother-in-law works for the biggest ALS foundation on the planet. He works, and he used to work there. He used to run events in which people would donate towards ALS. So he's probably been involved in millions of dollars in donations towards it, and it's something that I have a lot of. Like I know people in the community, obviously, who give towards that cause. It's an absolutely terrible disease, and if any of you guys actually watched what George posted, heartbreaking. I mean, I was in tears. I was in tears after reading that. I was on the couch in my living room. sitting on my ass reading George's post, and my wife came to me and she's like, "Is everything okay, honey?" I'm like, you have tears coming down your eye. You're fine. Then, well, why are you crying, and or why are you tearing? And it's a very heartfelt thing, and you just try to make the world a better place. And look, here's my point: nobody is perfect in this world. You have a lot of people. You have a lot of people who are assholes sometimes. You have a lot of people who are good at other times. You have a lot of times where we're in a country right now where we are so politically divided, which is disgusting, and that's what most people talk about at their kitchen tables and whatnot. But I'm telling you, one thing that everybody could get behind is making the world a better place, fighting these horrible, horrible conditions and diseases. And I say, you know, all this stuff like politics are like assholes.
Yeah.
Political opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Yeah.
And if you could just focus on the good of humanity, if you could focus on what makes us in the same puts us in the same boat as opposed to what
Yeah.
divides us, especially nowadays in the United States. And of course, we have people in Australia and all over the world playing Flesh and Blood, and it's going to blow
Yeah,
up in Europe
exactly.
like you wouldn't believe. And
Early on in Flesh and Blood Unseals, I don't remember what event had happened that day, but there was something that had happened that day politically that was huge. It was a big deal, and I think everybody was talking about it. And I made a decision that day. It's like, all right, we're going to talk about this for a second. And so what we did is I got on there and I started cracking cards, and I said, well, we're going to have a political statement here. And then we went silent for 5 seconds because I'm sorry, but I'm here to entertain. Like your politics can be whatever they are. I love you anyway. As long
uh,
as you want to do some flesh and blood with me, we want to unseal some cards and have a good time together. Great. Like
100
politics at the door.
100% with you, and that's why I say, as long as you want to be a good person, I don't give an F on what you believe in. And that's the whole point of me giving money to charity, because what it does is it creates literally a bond.
Mm-hmm.
So if I donate money on everyone's behalf anonymously, which is how I donate to every single charity, by the way, when I donate anonymously on everyone's behalf, what it does is it creates literally bonds between everyone that makes us sort of on the same team. Like you're almost like all wearing the same, like if we had like an ALS, sports cap here. Like for example, like I'm Newsbeat. Like if I wear like my Newsbeat banded sport caps, like we're like Newsbeat. But like point being is, you know, we could put on like an ALS cap or an Upper Valley Men cap, and we all support that cause. We all support what's good in the world. And instead of looking at somebody, again, especially, and if you're not in the US, maybe you don't understand it as much, but instead of looking at somebody like you're independent, you're Republican, you're Democrat, you're this, you're left, right, middle, center, far left, far right, middle, little left, little right. Instead
Human.
of looking at it like that, you could say, here's a person who donated to ALS. Here's another person who donated to ALS. Here's another person who donated to ALS. And what it does is it literally brings everyone together. And that is so important nowadays, more than ever, in my opinion.
Yep. That's exactly right. I used to open every unseals by saying, good evening, humans. And that's because I figured that's what we all have in common. Ladies,
Um,
gentlemen, that's actually a differentiator. That splits us apart. And
love it.
if you look at our numbers, there aren't all that many women in Flesh and Blood and Seals. So I'm not sitting here trying to emphasize or de-emphasize that. I'm just like, hey, humans, what's up? Like we're all here. We're all doing the same thing.
I
You know.
love that. And that sort of mentality is more coagulating, bringing people together as opposed to separating, you know.
And
And
yep, that's what we're trying to do.
regardless of what you do or don't believe, I mean, you do a great job at that. I try to do a great job at that. And, I want people to almost feel like Flesh and Blood Unseals to me is sort of like a home. I'm having a stressful day. I want to do this. I'll pop my phone. I'll look at Facebook. where am I going first? I'm going right to Flesh and Blood on Seals. I'm seeing who's posting stuff. Maybe I could comment. Maybe somebody's going to make a post that's going to make me chuckle or laugh. And it brings a lot of positivity through the day. I don't think people realize that. People take it for granted how you could just literally come in Flesh and Blood on Seals, throw your opinion, blast your opinion about the game, about a card, and have people who are on your team, people who've donated to the same causes as you, talk to you, try to help you, try to give you an opinion on something.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. I definitely don't take that for granted. I understand how important that is. I understand how powerful that is.
I think there was a great example in the North America marketplace group recently here. Nikki was trying to get her Shiana, and I mean everybody was coming out of the woodwork to help her get that thing, and it seemed like pretty much every name that I saw was in Flesh and Blood on Seals as well. And it's like, yep, okay, this is the Flesh and Blood on Seals community coming out to try and help Nikki get this card. And it was
I'll tell.
amazing. It was great to see.
Oh, of course. And I don't know if you guys like. I added Nikki Brown as a friend. I'm sure you have too, of
Oh yeah.
course, and many people as well. Have you ever read that girl's posts? Have you ever read what she says? She's
Mm-hmm.
just one of those people who I've never met her in my life. I might walk down the street and walk by her without recognizing her. I've seen her picture. I mean, but you'd walk by the street. I wouldn't recognize her, but I know she's an awesome person.
She's a great
You could
human.
tell she because what she actually does through her posts, it's actually kind of amazing. She tries to actually lift people up. Every post she has those posts where there's like some like picture in the background and like word text. Like I think you did it when you were doing something. I've never done one of those, but they're always uplifting. They're always positive. And I'll tell you, the other like a few days ago, I was having a fucking hard day, and I'm sitting there and I'm on my phone and I look and there's Nikki's post, and you know what? I looked at it. I put my little emoji hugging a heart like I cared, and I looked at it and it literally uplifted me from the roots up. And it's crazy because here's a person who's donated with me. Here's a person who's in my community. And this person is saying an uplifting message. It means a lot more coming from her than it would from somebody I don't know. Because here's somebody who I almost feel like I have an experience hanging out with, as weird as that sounds, because I always see her post. I'm always reading it. I'm always reading what she's thinking. I see the way you know, I see the way she writes. I see the way she thinks in terms of what I could interpret from her post, and it was such an uplifting feeling, and it was beautiful to see everyone come around. And I'll shamelessly say, like I've tried to sell her a Shiana at her price. I had a 2750 offer for one of my Shianas.
Yeah.
Literally, since we're here now. I had a 2750 offer for this
Ooh.
Shiana right here. For this Shiana right here,
Uh-huh.
and I literally offered it to Nikki for 2600. I could have made another 150 bucks. I didn't even sell for 2750. Why? Because I'd only accept 2900 for her. Right now, I'm only accepting 2900. So why wouldn't you sell for 2750? And why would you sell for 2600 to Nikki? Because it's Nikki. Because Nikki made me, uplifted me on a day that I was feeling a little down, which was literally just a few days ago. I mean, um, you know, emotionally speaking, I'm a day trader
Mm-hmm.
by profession, so I needed a little lift me up, and it came from a place in which I would have never imagined it. So I literally offered Nikki the Shiana. It wasn't in quad 9.5 condition because it was only factory cut, fresh from the pack, of course. We all
Yeah.
know that.
Mm-hmm.
So she ended up wanting it, and then she saw I did a video for her, and she didn't want it, and that's cool. And I'm still not selling it for 2750, but I offered this one to her for 2600 because what she does uplifted me. She has value to me, and she's just one of the people who bring value to the Flesh and Blood Unseals community, and that's why I love her.
There's a question for you in the comments here. It's Clifford. He's asking, why are you selling? What happened to your diamond hands?
Oh, why I'm selling is because I have more than. Well, here's the thing. I believe in,
Sharing?
diversify your
Hey,
assets.
sharing is caring, right?
I don't. You know what I don't own? A shard. I
Oh,
don't own a shard.
ah,
So that's why I was selling because I wanted to own a shard.
yeah, makes sense.
Uh, so I was trying to literally diversify into different flesh and blood products. I mean, you know, I have a little stash here that I keep with me.
Ooh,
Do
gonna
you
show us
guys
the
want
goods?
cardboard porn?
Yeah, let's see some goods.
You guys want some pornography?
I think we can
It's
run this
okay.
another 10 minutes or so.
Are all you guys 18 and older just in chat? Can you guys sign a consent form? Just don't want you and get a little some windshield wipers on your screens, on your phone screens.
If y'all have
You know.
heard the random, ho 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 ho, wow. Hold
So
on, hold on. Let me make the
I'm
video
I'm
bigger here.
I'm like I'm pretty vested. These are
There we go.
I don't deal with unlimited stuff. Just so we're clear, the only unlimited stuff I
Nice,
own is from what box wars you threw me. But
dude.
like this is just something I'm holding here. Got some of these. Got a couple of these girls. There's a lot more, but look,
Man,
I don't mind maybe even giving one of these away for free in the future, maybe for a charity event. That's the way I think. And people, oh my God, that's a heart. But I mean, look, I gave an art case, I gave a crew case, a crew box, a potential Shiana that may or may not come back to me, and a Zen state for modestly, humbly for all your troubles. But yeah, like some of these might be gradable. I mean, some of these are like there's one of them here which I think will get a 9.5 corners, which is mathematically impossible for her to find. Dill,
oh man,
and I
you
might
should just
just
write
run.
spice rack on the back of that one.
I might just literally put it in the spice rack, just some crazy thing where like if I get like a really good grade, people would have like I don't know 1 out of 500 or 1,000 chance of just winning. Like, I mean, if it grades 9.5 quad, I mean, it has to be worth 100,000 at least. So maybe give somebody a chance to win that.
That would be that would be a
I
sick
have,
merc right there.
I have to get it graded, and I'm making up stuff in my head because it seems like people at Beckett grading services sometimes they are going through that time of the month where they just are having a bad day or whatever. And sometimes it just feels like they're smiling as if somebody, gave them a little tickle and they feel, oh, they're all giddy and they're just dropping 9.5s and 10s on everything.
It would be
That's what
nice.
people.
Yeah, I wish they were a little bit more objective, seemingly. I've seen some travesties on cards here and there.
I almost feel like it should be scientifically based. Like, all right, well, your centering from left to right is 45, 53, 53, 47, whatever it is, to the top and bottom, and you only get a 10 if you're within I don't know, 47 to 53 on each side. I'm making it up. I don't know,
It
right?
seems
So
fair for centering. Sure.
just turn it into more of a science. But then the problem is, like, because I'm in the market, there's, how do you interpret, news flow as a day trader? There's an infinite amount of stories that could come out. You could do anything to a card. There could be anything from chocolate donut stain to a tear to a bend to a crease to a little scratch to peel coming up. Like it almost seems like there's an infinite number of things that could go wrong with the card. But what I really feel is if there was everything that could just go right with the card, if everything just simply goes right with the card, and you sort of have like, okay, there's a scratch here. All right, you got the little feather corner there. It's flesh and blood. This. That's what a 9 looks like, or that's what a 9.5, or that's what an 8.5 looks like, and just leave it like that. And turn it more into a science where if you showed it to 10 people, they would all get the same grade. But we know that's not the case. We know that humans are humans. We have emotions. We have feelings. We're having a good day. We're having a bad day. We went to bed late. We went to bed early. And all these grades come out back optimistically or pessimistically. So it's kind of funny, we're talking about this. I've literally seen, there's not enough sample size in Flesh and Blood yet, but Magic cards
Hmm.
where the same exact grade, like 9.5 quad plus, with the same exact 10, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 10 in the same spot, one of them is selling for $400 more than the other. Because when the humans look at it, we notice one of them is slightly better than the other, even though they're identical in the grade.
And they've got eye appeal enough that you can go, yep. And usually it
This
seems
one's
like it's
better than that
this.
one,
To me,
even
at
though
least, it's usually
they're
centering, right?
identical.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I do find that funny, and I, you know, this is it's going to be very interesting to see how this game progresses. What I really feel, how do you feel about the distribution? Like, what's your feelings on the distribution?
I think that a two distributor model is not enough. Number one, they need to get probably two or three more distributors involved, major distributors, because right now it's too limited. But to do that, I think they're going to have to print a lot more. And because I don't think you can really cut what's being sent to the distributors that are already online. They've been doing a great job. Well, ostensibly they've been getting cards out. How about that? I don't know about great job. I don't know who you want to blame for all the shipping delays. It's probably not their fault. Um, I think that once we see a lot more printing going on, they're going to need a better distribution system. I don't know that two is going to do it. Um,
It's kind of funny because the early distribution system in Magic would benefit people who are on the west coast near Seattle.
hmm.
So this game started in Australia, and it feels like a lot of the people who have all the old school stuff originated, at least in Australia.
Yep. So now here's a converse side of that, though. I heard from Simon Austin Wallace
The Great
that
Saw.
he said that they actually had their allocations in New Zealand cut in order to compensate for sending more of the allocation over to the U.S. So I mean I don't know if I mean that right there seems like a move from LSS trying to say, hey, we need to make sure that we support these growing communities a lot, what it tells me is that they're really concerned about the amount of cards that they're printing. If they're cutting New Zealand numbers, yeah, that's not good news for
At the same
anybody.
time, there should be some form of predictive analysis for how the game's going to grow. So, as far as I've heard, Europe is like not even part of sort of the rotation initially, where it hasn't really penetrated Europe, and nobody's even mentioned it. How about China? I mean, I hear there's a billion plus people over there. India, do people play there? There's a billion plus people over there,
Hmm.
and those two countries are much closer to Australia than the United States. And as you know, Magic the Gathering in China is huge. I mean, you have simplified Chinese cards, you have, a lot of product going through there. If you're predicting that this game is going to spread, and you pretty much already know that whatever first edition you print, you have 100% chance of selling it. You have to realize, in James White, the owner of Flesh and Blood and
Yep.
creator, he knows for a fact that if he prints 10, 20, you ready for this one, Chris? 100 times more Monarch than is set to be printed, he knows it will sell out. He knows it.
Hmm.
So you gotta respect him where he's try to sort of manage the line between making investors happy by not having too much of a print run and trying to make players happy by at least blasting out unlimited. He's walking quite an interesting tightrope there.
Yep. I wonder about those print numbers, like because the way that the fabled cards are set up, it's a certain number of packs that have to be opened in order to hit a fabled card, and at least previously, there was a statement around like there's only a certain number of fabled cards, and so everybody's been sort of trying to predict print numbers based off of those numbers. I'm kind of curious, like, will there be more fabled cards in order to allow them to print more Monarch, or like what's gonna happen? Are they gonna actually
But
increase the straight number that they print? Will there be more
my
shards than, or less shards than this Monarch fabled card, whatever it is?
I mean, it's a great question, obviously. My thoughts is if they go to Cardamonde, they would have to say, okay, look, they would have to do like complete runs, meaning, all right, if there's, how many cards are in a pack? Is it eight?
Well, Crucible of War was 8, I think.
All right. So let's say you
15
have eight
for.
cards in a pack, and you have one fabled in 40 boxes. So you have 24 packs in a box. 8 times 24 is what? 192? 192? 192. So what are you doing? You're timesing it by 40. So what is that? 7,680. So you're pretty much one out of 7,680 cards have to be a fable. If I'm sorry, I'm doing just quick math with a
Yeah.
little bit of rum in me. But if that's the case, I'm assuming they would print exactly like this many rainbow foils, this many commons, this many rares, this many super rares, this many majestics, this many legendaries, this many foils, and they would just have like, this is how much we're making in one print run.
Hmm.
By print run, I mean like print set. I used to actually help manage a print shop with a professional printing press. So we had a Indigo printing press, which is a digital printing press, one of the top ones, and also a Heidelberg press, where like hundreds of thousands of dollars for a printing machine and whatnot. And what we would usually do is we would put in the computer and we would literally have a sheet of paper and we would just push it through. So when these presses go through, it's very similar. We could use the same cardstock that's used for Flesh and Blood or whatever. It would fit like a thicker cardstock. You could literally tell it, all right, make 20 of these, 10 of these sheets, 5 of these sheets, 3 of these sheets, 1 of these sheets, and you could print as many of those sets as you want, but it
Hmm.
would all come out to like the exact same number. And it's funny because a lot of times you'll see like you have a lot of these people with these misprints, like the ones with the barcodes. Like some dude was selling like a foil barcode one with the
Yeah.
Flesh and Blood and back.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
shit happened all the time in the real printing press. You get like lines, you get like this, you get like this. But what we did is when a customer had an order, whether they were doing flyers or whether they were doing whatever to promote themselves, we would throw it out. See, they just chop it up, pack it, and send it out, and the customer ends up being happier that they got something that was printed incorrectly.
Right. Right. But like I guess the thing that I'm struggling with though is that LSS has said that they're going to like focus on like a total number for those really expensive cards though. At least they
Well,
have in the past. So are they going to change that for Monarch, do you think, or?
I'm not sure unless they already came out with the number. I mean, the real question is, you know,
Now that's true.
we
They
all
haven't given us any real numbers yet. It's all
right. So it's
conjecture
like
still.
WTR and ARC are the same print run. Then there's Crucible. What would you guess? My guess is there's 4 times as many Crucible as there is ARC and or WTR. And then of course, how much more Monarch is there going to be than Crucible? I would have to say at this point, in order to remain healthy, personally, I would go for 10 times. I think they're going to go closer to 6 or 7 or 8.
Hmm.
Personally, that would be my guess. Because that's what it comes like. James White knows he's selling out every single box. He has zero doubt in his head that if he prints 100 times more first edition than he wanted, if he was going to print, whatever the number is, 100,000 boxes, 100,000 cases. I'm just making stupid napkin math up. He
Hmm.
knows that if he printed 1,000,000 cases, that those would just sell out as well.
True. I I don't know. I almost the I guess the thing that is missing in that equation is print time though. Like Cardamonde is slammed from all sides, right? Pokemon announced a huge reprint. They use Cardamonde. Magic is, Magic. They're doing all their stuff. And for those who aren't familiar, these packs here, see this little red circle on here?
Yeah.
Anytime you see a red circle on there, that means that pack came from Cardamonde. That's a language identifier for an English pack from Cardamonde. So,
Really?
yeah.
I find that so fascinating how you look at the back of like cards and whatnot. And hold on, let's take a look at this. So
You should see it on your.
Here I have just Welcome to Wrath Alpha Pack. So,
Oh, nice. Yep. Yeah. So flip the
like this.
The wrapper piece. Flip the wrapper over so you can see behind it. And behind there you'll see the little red. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to like.
Oh yeah, you have to kind of peel that. Oh, there it is.
You're right.
Yep. There it
Look
is.
at that.
Yep. Cardamonde goodness right there. Oh,
Wow. I did not know that. I should crack this pack, shouldn't I? An Alpha WTR pack.
Yeah.
Should I save it for? How many people watching right now? We don't have a lot watching. How many people want me to crack
Let's
this
see.
pack?
We got 9 viewers.
Should I save it for another viewing?
I don't see why. I think maybe we should just go for it, man. I've been sitting here cracking packs. I've got one. I'm gonna crack this one.
Oh, what are you cracking?
I'm just sitting here. I'm doing a WTR unlimited box. Yeah.
All right, I'm doing WTR Alpha. You guys ready?
Go for it.
All right. Don't you dare crack it. Watch me, bro.
I'm watching. Me. I should. Here we go. Make this bigger.
It's on seals, bro.
That's right. Got to crack stuff on seals.
We are freeing it. We are freeing it. All right, let's see what's happening here. All right. All right. We got.
There we go.
Unmovable.
Unmovable.
What is that? Wounded Bull.
Wounded Bull. Yep. Oh, Surging Strike. Is that what that is?
Raging Onslaught.
Oh, Raging Onslaught. Okay.
Sorry, I know the zoom in isn't as good. Nimblism.
Nimblism. Yep.
Iron Rock Gauntlet.
Nice. That's your equipment. Here comes
Rashi
the fun.
Breakdown.
All right.
Is this the rare?
That's rare number 1.
Rare. Disable.
Rare number 2. Come on, pull a heart. Pull a heart.
Potential spices behind this card.
Pull a heart. Yep. Do it. Come on.
Should I doggy style it? I'll doggy style it. Hold on, I'll put this down. This is the card right here, right?
That means you're gonna stare at it, right?
I'm not, because I have this on this.
Oh, okay, all right.
All the packs here, see?
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna doggy style it. Ready?
All right. Ooh.
Holy shit!
Nice.
I marked it.
Very nice.
I marked it. Oh,
cold foil. Nice, dude. Iron rot plate.
What is that worth? Iron rot plate.
That's
cold foil.
That's like at least $250 right there.
Screw it! I got my pack back.
Sick pull, man. Yeah.
Oh, I love you.
Love it.
Man, I even merc shit when I'm doing it myself. Gotta do this shit more often.
Nope. You gotta send it my way. Just kidding.
Can I freely admit something right now to the public? That is the first pack of Flesh and Blood I've ever opened in my life.
Wow.
I bet you never knew that about me.
Oh man, no. I can't believe it. Really?
Ever.
That's awesome.
Ever.
Your first one had a cold foil in it. What does that say, man?
That I love. Thank you, Saw, for sending me, because Saw sent me the pack for buying some cold foils off him. He threw it in as a gift. I love you, Simon Austin Wallace. You are the GOAT of Australia. I love you, bro.
Something went wrong with my Zoom. Hey, there, it fixed it. Cool.
Oh my god.
All right.
Total. Oh my god, I gotta sleeve this pot. Look at that.
Right?
Hold on, let me see.
Nice one.
Right, let's see the back. Hold on. I'm gonna look.
Check those corners, top right and top.
Holy shit. I mean,
Nice one.
there's no like. All right, so here's one. I know it's hard to see. Hold on. Maybe if I put a notepad up, try to brighten it up a little. Hold on. It's like no whitening there, but you see that you have the little corner flip. I can't
Yeah, a
see
little
it
corner flip there. I can see that.
right over there.
Yeah.
Glad
Corner
I opened that. I was always
corner
wondering
flip
what
isn't
was
as
in here.
typical for these cards.
So there's no whitening at all.
I don't see any
Zero.
whitening. Yeah, yeah.
Zero. So I don't know if that's like an Australian thing, like where your cards don't come out fucked up like the American ones.
Well, I've got my unlimited pack here. I don't expect to be hitting anything quite as snazzy as your iron wrought plate, but let's see
Wow.
what we can do here.
First one I've ever opened. Ooh, that's some. I can't believe it. That's my first pack ever. I hope that doesn't turn me into a junkie where I keep chasing that first high. you know,
Just remember, you can open like an entire box of those and get none, no cold foils. So
that's scary.
it happens,
Is
right?
this worth anything? The empty wrapper, or is that like I have to wait like 5, 10 years?
Well, I saw that somebody was selling them on eBay. The full box plus all the wrappers in it, empty, for around 70, 75 bucks. And
Look at this. Do you
there were a
notice
few
this on
sold.
the alpha wrapper? Oh, hold on. It's hard to see. But there's like a code there. You see that?
Yeah.
There's like a code there on the wrapper.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like with the unlimited ones too?
Yeah. Yeah, some kind of
Screw
yeah.
it. I'm gonna keep it. That was wow.
That's a good
I can't
memento.
I can't believe I pulled a cold foil on my first
Rip
ever.
Ripping your first pack live on the air and you pull a cold foil. Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
I have to keep up this Merker persona going. So let me ask you a question. Who owns sickmerc.com? Is that you or someone
No,
else?
that's not actually me. Ian.
Ian
Ian
knows.
Ian did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love you, Ian. That's awesome.
And the new one is tacotimmys.com. And that's
Taco Timmy's, that's you.
yeah, Taco Timmy's is pointed at our YouTube group now. So, which
And
this is
is that you?
yeah, that's also this Flesh and Blood Unseals. So, tacotimmys.com.
I love it, bro. I love that so much. Yo, cheers. I
Yeah,
love that. I love that.
it's
That's just
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, we got the best community. They just pull this stuff out of
By
nowhere. Like
far.
I was talking to Ian, and he's like, "Hey, check this out, sickmerc.com," and then all of a sudden it's pointing at Flesh and Blood and the Unseals, and I mean, awesome. And then I was talking to him, and he's like, "Hey, I got Taco Timmy's." And yeah. Anyway, so this is being streamed live right now on YouTube, and
Yeah. Oh, is
so
it? Great. I
yeah.
hope people enjoy it. I hope people can ask me any questions. I try to make people's lives better. I try to, what I do for a living is I run a trading room, and I'm a day trader, and I try to help
What's
the small fish
what's the
make
name
it.
of that
And
that trading room?
then Newsbeat Live.
Newsbeat Live.
Yeah, so if you go to t3live.com, I run the Newsbeat Live room. Um, I can't call it a community of people. It's literally my family. I spend more time with them than I do with my actual family. Um, it's funny. Like my wife says, you're gonna go spend time with your other family now, and you know, it comes with not another wife and no one else to have sex with. But I'm still happy and content with her, and I wouldn't want to have anyone else but her. But
Hey, it's
with that
important
being
to
said,
have
yeah,
things to work on and things to
yeah,
accomplish and
it's a family of traders. I love every single person in that community. I give my heart and soul to them, and there's nothing more I want than to make these people successful, help them give to charities, make the world a better place. And like I said, I'm 41 years old. Like I'm gonna be on this planet. I'm gonna not be on this planet. And when I leave, what I'm hoping is that people remember it and say, you know what? That's somebody who made the world a better place, and that is my only goal. Um, I'm not a perfect person. I haven't done right all my life. I've came from very humble origins, and you know you're not going to be here forever. Just do the best you can for humanity, and that's how you leave a mark.
Yep.
Pun intended on the planet.
Or a Merc.
Or a mark, leave a mark on the planet.
Yeah. Well, that seems like a pretty good place to kind of wrap it up.
Yeah,
We've
definitely,
been
Brad.
at it here for a little while. It's been a good conversation,
Yeah,
man.
did you guys enjoy it? I hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoyed what we did here. I really enjoyed talking to you. It was
I sure enjoyed it.
very refreshing, and hope definitely going to see you guys in on Sunday. What time are we doing it on Sunday?
I was thinking maybe I'd start a little bit earlier. I was thinking noon, but maybe
Noon your
earlier.
time.
Yeah, maybe
So that's like
11.
3 o'clock p.m. Eastern
Let's do
Standard
two.
Time.
Let's do two your time.
2 my time. So that's
Yeah,
11
11
your time.
a.m. Pacific. Yeah, yeah. Because I figured
Okay.
this is gonna go for a good. It's gonna be a pretty long event, so I wanna start
I
a little
think 2
earlier.
is perfect. That's when my younger one goes down for his nap.
Mm,
So hopefully I'll come on and spam a bunch of LFGs
heck yeah.
and
We can't
root
start without
everybody
you,
on.
so
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time. I can't wait.
awesome. All right. Well, thanks a lot. Thank you again for coming on and being a part of all this, and really appreciate you, Mark.
I appreciate you too, Chris. Have a wonderful evening.
All
Love
right.
you.